But so I want to get to the next question. This is so important because our listeners need to hear, what impact did EMDR therapy have on your life? How did it change you? How did your life change? What happened as a result? So over to you. We're really interested in this answer now.
Yeah, it's sort of like the simplest way I could say it is I had a life that was completely driven by trauma.
Yeah.
And when after 2 years with Dr. Magnavita, the first thing that went away, was sort of faded away, was this false persona. So I was able to start to live and behave and think and interact in an authentic way. The goal set, goal achieved compulsion, that went away. My complete and exhausting obsession with status and achievement, and I mean that in in the strongest. I was an obsession that went away. In fact, I look back at my previous self and I don't recognize that person. Intimacy came into my life not just in many ways. So starting with friendships that I'd had, which tended to be kind of superficial, because my caregiver primarily didn't have. I had no healthy attachments, so they were very fragile. So I figured things like, you could never fight with a friend, because if you have a fight with a friend, I'll lose the friend. And I've since learned that conflict in relationships are a huge part of relationships, and keeping them honest and keeping them healthy and strengthening the relationship. So that's one form of intimacy that came in. Dating and intimacy are no longer panic-inducing, anxiety-provoking situations. So I've started to sort of explore that path in my life. But I had to say the biggest thing, Elaine, the biggest gift of all, was having had a brother who was my tormentor, seriously a tormentor my whole growing up. I mean, through high school. And having been estranged from him for many, many years, thinking I would never see him, I would never speak with him ever again. And he started an EMDR journey with thanks again to Debbie, one of Debbie's colleagues. And we came together about maybe 7 months ago for the very first time. So an authentic version of me meeting an authentic version of my brother, once we were outside of that vice that we grow up in as kids, just choosing our own adaptation to survive. That goes away. And we're having the most incredible relationship that I never, ever thought I would have. And I use a word that kind of shocks people. It's the most intimate relationship I have, which is crazy to say, but we have a Zoom call every Friday at 11, and it's usually an hour and a half. And it's the most remarkable gift I never thought I would ever have.
Oh my goodness. Talk about transformative.